arm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in law. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to stand tall with patriotism and join me in singing. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. From sea to shining sea. America. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'm Specialist James David. We thank you all for being here today. Please take your seats. You'll see your soldier real soon. For over 80 years, the musicians of the United States Army Maneuver Center of Excellence Band have taken great pride in entertaining the soldiers, families, and civilians of the Fort Benning, Columbus, and Phoenix City communities. Through music, they've shared the story of our nation and its soldiers worldwide. Currently, the Maneuver Center of Excellence Band, with its 8 performing groups, accomplishes over 400 missions a year in support of the military and civilian communities in and around Fort Benning. The band lives by the Maneuver Center of Excellence motto, one force, one fight. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for your Maneuver Center of Excellence Band.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The ceremony will begin in a few moments. Before the ceremony begins, we ask that you silence all electronic devices and please refrain from smoking or vaping during the ceremony. Distinguished guests, friends, and family members of Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, on behalf of Major General Colin Tooley and Command Sergeant Major Brian Haight of the United States Maneuver Center of Excellence, and Brigadier General Philip Kinnery and Command Sergeant Major Christopher Donaldson of the United States Army Infantry School, we welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. Thank you for taking the time to share this great day with us. Before we start today's ceremony, would the veterans in the audience please stand? Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in a round of applause for these veterans who have kept our country free in times of peace and conflict. Thank you. From its inception on 14 June 1775, the infantry has stood as the backbone of our army, whether storming the beaches of Normandy, trudging through the frozen mountains of Korea, or braving the deserts of the Middle East. Infantrymen have borne the brunt of battle with valor and resilience. They have secured the victories that carved our republic, reunited a divided union, and defended democracy around the globe. The story of the infantry is one of quiet heroism. Infantrymen have faced overwhelming odds with an indomitable spirit, leaving an enduring legacy of selflessness and courage. They fought on the hallowed grounds of Yorktown, Gettysburg, and Antietam. They marched through the trenches of World War I, stood firm in the jungles of Vietnam, and operated in the urban combat zones of Iraq and Afghanistan. Each step forward has been a step closer to protecting our shared ideals of liberty and justice. Today, as we celebrate this legacy, we also honor the adaptability of the infantry. From musket to M7, from conventional battles to asymmetric warfare, the infantry has evolved to meet the demands of ever-changing conflicts. These warriors are not just soldiers. They are leaders, diplomats, and defenders of hope in some of the world's darkest moments. To the next generation of infantrymen, we look to you to carry forward this proud legacy. You embody the Army's core values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. The challenges of the 21st century demand not only physical strength, but also the intellect and adaptability to navigate cyber threats, complex geopolitics, and modern battlefields. This day is a reminder of what it means to be the infantry, to close with and destroy the enemy, to take and hold ground, and to do so with determination and honor. It is also a day to remember those who gave the ultimate sacrifice, heroes whose names are etched into the very fabric of our nation's history. One of those leaders was 2nd Lieutenant Daniel Inouye, later Senator Inouye from Hawaii. On 12 September 2014, soil was spread on this parade field from San Lorenzo, Italy, and the parade field was officially named Inouye Field in his honor. In 1997, he was awarded the Medal of Honor for his heroic actions on 21 April 1945 at San Lorenzo. As a platoon leader in the 442nd Regimental Combat Team, and despite being critically wounded, 2nd Lieutenant Inouye, by his gallant, aggressive tactics and his indomitable leadership, led his platoon to advance through fierce resistance and capture the heavily defended and fortified ridge known as Col Musatello outside of the town of San Terenzo, Italy. The purpose of today's ceremony is to recognize the commitment of the soldiers in formation today who have chosen to serve their country as infantrymen. This review is the last official formation of the training cycle. Not everyone successfully completes this difficult period of training, but those in formation today represent the disciplined, motivated, and physically fit soldiers who exemplify the Army's 7 core values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. These soldiers are imbued with the warrior ethos and display the tenets of putting the mission first, never accepting defeat, never quitting, and never leaving behind a fallen comrade. This is an important day, and they can take great pride in their accomplishments. This ceremony marks the culmination of months of long and arduous training, the result of which are these superb infantrymen prepared to take their places in infantry units around the world. Like you, we are proud of their accomplishments. Ladies and gentlemen, during the next few moments, there will be loud noises and smoke from the use of pyrotechnics. On the far side of the parade field, the World War II company street serves as a constant reminder of the time-honored traditions and values of America's greatest generation, those infantrymen who walked before us. In the next few moments, out from the past, will emerge our country's next greatest generation, today's infantry warrior. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Infantry Rifle Squad, the foundation of the Army's decisive force and the embodiment of the warrior ethos. For over 250 years, infantrymen have had the most challenging job of any member of the armed forces. They carry the fight to the enemy around the world. They are the standard bearer for all armies of the world, leading by example in the fight to defend freedom against ruthless terror. With the increased firepower and lethality of today's weapons, every infantryman must be trained to standard in over 200 tasks to defeat our enemies on any battlefield. The infantrymen graduating today are accomplished marksmen, able to engage the enemy day and night. They understand how to shoot, move, and communicate as a team. They are adaptable warriors who can fight as a mechanized force from Strykers or Bradleys, from the sky as airborne or air assault, and whose training is the basis for our elite special operations warriors. Most importantly, they are patriots who raised their right hand and swore an oath to God and country to defend the Constitution of the United States against any enemy. Ladies and gentlemen, the Infantry Rifle Squad. Flying ahead of the infantry squad is the RQ-28 Alpha, a cutting-edge small unmanned aerial system that gives our soldiers an eye in the sky. With the RQ-28 Alpha, infantry squads can detect threats before engaging the enemy, turning the tide of battle with real-time intel and precision reconnaissance. The squad is led by a staff sergeant. They are armed with an M7 rifle. The M7 rifle is the latest evolution of service rifle, utilizing improved ambidextrous controls and the 6.8x51 Fury cartridge that is designed to defeat the latest in adversary body armor. The squad has 2 fire teams. Each fire team is led by a sergeant. They are also armed with an M7 rifle. This rifle is fully modular with an integrated receiver rail system that can mount the M157 fire control optic infrared laser designator used to engage enemy targets at night. Each fire team has one automatic rifleman. They are armed with an M250 squad automatic weapon. This system replaces legacy systems, providing improved firepower with a sustained rate of fire of 600 rounds per minute and weighing 6 pounds lighter than the previous weapon system, the M249 squad automatic weapon. Each fire team has one grenadier. They are armed with an M7 rifle and an M320 grenade launcher. It fires a variety of 40-millimeter grenades to include high explosive, illumination, colored smoke, and buckshot. The M320 provides an invaluable indirect fire capability to the infantry squad. The remaining soldier in each fire team is the rifleman. They are armed with an M7 rifle and the M136 AT-4 anti-tank launcher. The AT-4 fires an 84-millimeter shaped charge capable of defeating up to 14 inches of rolled homogeneous steel and breaching bunkers or masonry walls in urban structures. Additionally, each one of these soldiers is wearing the integrated head protection system. On their torso, they are wearing the second-generation modular scalable vest, the MSV, which consists of 4 armored plates capable of stopping small arms fire and fragmentation. Additionally, they are wearing ballistic eye protection and a water hydration system. Ladies and gentlemen, all members of today's rifle squad are from Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment. This is the modern-day warrior, armed and equipped to fight and win anywhere, anytime, in any type of terrain, against any enemy. These infantrymen are trained and ready to defend our country and preserve our way of life. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in a round of applause for the United States Army Infantry Rifle Squad. Ladies and gentlemen, now returning to the parade field is the United States Army Maneuver Center of Excellence Band, led by Drum Major First Sergeant Jeffrey Taylor and commanded by Warrant Officer 1, Lauren Assad. Ladies and gentlemen, now marching onto the parade field are the infantrymen of Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment. The company commander is Captain Caleb Weinbrenner, and the company first sergeant is First Sergeant Christopher Keene. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the arrival of the official party. Chaplain Captain Jared Friggin, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment's chaplain, will offer the invocation.
Good morning. Please join me in prayer if you feel led to do so. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, I come before you today with a heart of gratitude on this very special day that commemorates 18 weeks of hard work and dedication, all which wouldn't be possible without your grace and your provision. I ask that you watch over these soldiers as we send them out from Fort Benning. Be with these soldiers and give each and every one of them a wise and discerning mind, that they may know good from evil and they would always choose what is good. Let them be beacons of light in a dark world. Lord, I now ask that you bless these infantrymen and that you would bless the United States Army. And Lord, bless the United States of America. In your holy name I pray, amen.
The official party for today's ceremony consists of the 198th Infantry Brigade Commander, Colonel Jacob White, and the Brigade Command Sergeant Major, Daniel Roney.
Company, hold, attention, preset, arm. Sir, the company is formed.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Order! Order! On! Let's be honored in color. Center! March!
Present the command.
Preset, arm. Detachment, preset, arm.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the national anthem. Gentlemen, if you are not in uniform, please remove your headgear. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Detachment, order, arm. Order, order, arm. Hooray, rest.
The infantrymen graduating today come from many parts of the United States. The flags of the 50 states and 6 territories displayed at the museum symbolize the broad base of our national defense. The platoons standing before you have conducted a turning blue ceremony on Honor Hill, as blue is the color of the infantry. This ceremony culminated with each graduating soldier receiving the coveted symbols of an infantryman: the crossed rifle insignia with blue background discs and the blue infantry cord. Turning blue signifies the rite of passage of these soldiers to carry on in the finest traditions of the infantry. The infantry cross rifles, blue discs, and blue cord mark these soldiers as qualified to be the finest in the world, the United States Army Infantry. The soldiers most responsible for the training of these infantrymen are the drill sergeants, who were carefully selected by the Department of the Army. The drill sergeant hat and badge have been a stoic symbol of professionalism and pride since 1962. At this time, the drill sergeant of the cycle for Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, Drill Sergeant Riley Patterson, will recite the drill sergeant's creed.
The drill sergeant's creed. I am a drill sergeant. I will assist each individual in their efforts to become a highly motivated, well-disciplined, physically and mentally fit soldier, capable of defeating any enemy on today's modern battlefield. I will instill pride in all I trade, pride in self, in the Army, and in country. I will insist that each soldier meets and maintains the Army standards of military bearing and courtesies, consistent with the highest traditions of the U.S. Army. I will lead by example, never requiring a soldier to attempt any task that I would not do myself. But first, last, and always, I am an American soldier, sworn to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. I am a drill sergeant. This will defend.
At this time, the official party will present the awards. The drill sergeant of the cycle will receive an Army Commendation Medal, and the soldier of the cycle will receive the Army Achievement Medal. Receiving the Drill Sergeant of the Cycle Award from Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment is Drill Sergeant Riley Patterson from Fredericksburg, Virginia. Drill Sergeant Patterson's spouse, Tiana Patterson, is being presented with a bouquet of flowers in recognition of the constant support given to her spouse. The soldier of the cycle for Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment is Private First Class Dylan Samalik from Ennis, Texas. Private First Class Samalik's follow-on assignment is the Ranger Assessment and Selection Program. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in giving these fine soldiers a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the 198th Infantry Brigade, Colonel Jacob White.
All right, you got me. All right, on behalf of Major General Tooley, Command Sergeant Major Haight, Brigadier General Kinnery, Command Sergeant Major Donaldson, just want to welcome everybody to today's ceremony. Families, friends, distinguished guests, most importantly, the men of Delta Company 219 Infantry. It is incredible to stand with you today on this parade field, right in the shadow of our National Infantry Museum. Before we begin, I want to thank the MCOE band for providing the soundtrack to today's ceremony. I am genuinely in awe of military musicians. In the infantry, we keep things simple. We either shoot or we move. I still marvel at how the band managed to march and play an instrument at the same time. Let's give our band a round of applause. I have a simple message today that revolves around the citizen soldier. We gather here in May of 2026. This year marks the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. 2.5 centuries ago, farmers, blacksmiths, and shopkeepers forged our nation. They picked up muskets to fight for an idea. They were the original infantrymen. They established a uniquely American tradition that has survived for 250 years, the tradition of our citizen soldiers. We do not rely on mercenaries to fight our battles. We rely on everyday citizens who willingly leave the comforts of civilian life, endure the crucible of training, and stand in the gap for our country. The 175 men standing before you today are the living, breathing continuation of that 250-year-old legacy. A profound philosophical difference separates the American soldier from the troops of any other nation. We field the best technology and the most advanced hardware in the world, but our true asymmetric advantage in combat will always be our people. We do not train followers, we train leaders at every level. We require our soldiers to be creative, agile, adaptive, and bold, and experts in their craft. Think about what that means. When an American pilot goes down in Iran, our military moves heaven and earth to find and recover them. We risk it all because we never leave a fallen comrade. You are joining an army that values you, not just because you're a soldier, but because you're an American citizen. To the families and loved ones in the audience, the title Citizen Soldier begins with you. You built the citizen. The Army doesn't issue character in a duffel bag. You forged it at your dinner tables, in your classrooms, at Sunday school, and in our communities. You instilled the values of duty and selfless service long before these men ever wore a uniform. Your unwavering support sustained them through the hardest days of OSIT. Because of your guidance, our nation maintains a steadfast pool of patriots willing to do the hard work of being a soldier. We celebrate these graduates today, but we also celebrate you. Thank you for raising sons with the courage and the desire to serve. Let's give a round of hand to our families. I learned my lesson. I'm not going to applaud with you because I don't lose my speech to the wind. To the drill sergeants of Delta Company, you took those citizens and you trained them into lethal soldiers. On January 9th, 194 civilians stepped onto your footprint, and today 175 highly trained infantrymen stand before us. This success stands as a direct testament to your expert mentorship, your professional discipline, and your ability to transform American youth into the world's most capable combatants. You are the architects of the Follow Me spirit. Thank you for your relentless dedication. Let's give our drill sergeants a round of applause. To the war dogs graduating today, you didn't just meet the 250-year legacy of the infantry, you exceeded it. I review a lot of class statistics as your brigade commander, and yours are exceptional. One soldier in your rank scored a perfect 500 on the Army fitness test. 4 soldiers shot a flawless 40 out of 40 at the range. In fact, 74 of you wear the expert marksmanship badge today, driving a staggering company average of 34.1 out of 40. In our line of work, lethality is the only metric that matters. Those numbers tell me Delta Company is a formation of stone-cold professionals. I also want to recognize the 14 of you who earned accelerated promotions. You already proved your potential to lead the next generation of infantrymen. In this 250th year of our republic, 6 war dogs in this formation are currently earning their citizenship. They volunteered to defend a flag and a constitution that aren't legally theirs yet. They chose to do the heavy lifting of a patriot before the paperwork is even finished. To those 6 men, you are well on your way to becoming citizens, and we are incredibly proud of you. Men of Delta Company, yesterday you turned blue. You're in the right to wear the infantry cord. Today, as you leave this parade field and head to your first duty stations, remember the 250 years of history resting on your shoulders. You are the queen of battle. You are the citizen soldiers of the 21st century. Stay lethal. Look out for the man to your left and your right. Be ready for whatever this nation asks of you. War dogs, brave and bold, follow me. Thank you.
Detachment, ho! March!
Ladies and gentlemen, the Soldier's Creed is the standard for all soldiers to live by. The Soldier's Creed helps soldiers understand that despite their very diverse backgrounds, all soldiers are warriors and members of a team. We invite all soldiers, both past and present, to join us as the Soldier of the Cycle from Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, Private First Class Samalik, leads the Army's newest soldiers in the Soldier's Creed.
The Soldier's Creed!
I'm a soldier. I'm a warrior member team. I serve the people of the United States who live in armed battles. I'll always place me first. I'll never accept defeat. I'll never quit. I'll never leave a fallen comrade. I'm physically, mentally tough. Trained to finish my warrior class drills. I'll always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself. I'm an expert and I'm professional. I stand ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the enemies of the United States of America in close combat. I'm a guardian of freedom and American way of life. I'm an American soldier.
Standards of discipline, sir.
Stay bold.
Sir, the infantrymen of Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, are trained and prepared to take their place in infantry units around the world.
Pass and review.
Pass and review! Right?
Right.
Hey! Forward!
Forward.
March!
Ladies and gentlemen, as the soldiers pass to your front, we invite you to take pictures, but please remain in your seats. When the American flag passes to your front, we ask that you rise and that the gentlemen remove their headgear. Once the American flag has passed your location, you may be seated. Additionally, we ask that you please remain in the stands until the band has completely left the field. Now approaching the reviewing stand is the Maneuver Center of Excellence Band, led by Drum Major First Sergeant Jeffrey Taylor and commanded by Warrant Officer 1 Lauren Assad. Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment is commanded by Captain Caleb Weinbrenner from Lebanon, Kentucky. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 1st Platoon is Staff Sergeant Dakota Herod from Waycross, Georgia. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 2nd Platoon is Sergeant First Class Breon Mitchell from Bradenton, Florida. The Commander of Colors is Drill Sergeant William Wilson from Mobile, Alabama. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 3rd Platoon is Sergeant First Class Leo O'Brien from New York City, New York. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 4th Platoon is Sergeant First Class Andrew Hopkins from Columbus, Ohio. The First Sergeant for Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment is Christopher Keene from Boston, Massachusetts. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as the band plays the infantry song and the army song. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the 198th